fought the fight, breaking down the walls in the dead of night. I don't come for peace, I come for the storm. Fanboys melt quick when the truth gets warm. Saw content's high, I'm collecting those tears. Just got started, but I'm cutting through fears. I'm not here for brand deals, I'm not for sale. I expose your lies, rip off the veil.
We need to talk about the latest direct because it dropped some expensive bombshells about Pokemon Legends ZA. And when I say expensive, I don't just mean the kind of it's going to cost you a little more. No, I mean the kind of bombshell that rips the mask off Nintendo, that shows you just how greedy they have become and how far they're willing to go to cut out pieces of a game and sell them back to you later. Because make no mistake, that's what just happened. Let's set the record straight though. The Mega Dimensions expansion isn't technically day one story DLC, and at first some fanboys jump on that like it's a win. See, it's not day one, you're wrong, but here's the truth. The way Nintendo set this up is actually even more manipulative. Here's what you really get. On day one, you get a handful of cosmetics. Maybe outfits, maybe skins, or maybe even accessories. The kind of little distraction that looks shiny in a trailer. The kind of fluff meant to convince you that you're getting something of value right out of the gate. But the real meat of that expansion, the actual story content, the thing people actually care about, that's not showing up until later. And if you've been paying attention, the pre-order window conveniently ends on February 28th. You think that's a coincidence? Please, that's the drop date. That's when the story content unlocks. That's when the actual expansion, the stuff that should have been in the base game, finally becomes available. And it'll all be locked behind a paywall. So don't let the PR spin fool you. Don't let the fanboys gaslight you. This is not bonus content. This is not extra value. This is cut content. Nintendo and Game Freak didn't just come up with an entire expansion in a couple of months after the game was finished. No developer in the world works like that. This was planned from the start. This was carved out during development, and instead of giving you the complete Pokemon Legends ZA at launch, they sliced it up like a pie, charged you $70 for the base game, and then dangled the rest of the pie in front of you for another $30. Cosmetics now, story later. That's the scheme. They're just stretching it out, making it feel less predatory so it doesn't look as ugly on paper. But let's be honest, it's still day one DLC in disguise. It's Nintendo playing semantics while holding your game hostage. And here's the part that really burns. This isn't some small IP trying to scrape by. This isn't an indie studio barely making rent. This is Pokémon, one of the most beloved, most recognizable, most profitable franchises on Earth. A franchise that's going to sell millions of copies no matter what they do. Pokemon Legends ZA could have released as a full complete game and it would have printed money anyway. It didn't need DLC, it didn't need pre-orders like that, it didn't need to bleed its fanbase dry. But Nintendo did it anyway. Why? Because they can. Because they know people will pay. Because they have been testing the waters before. They're trying to normalize $80 games, and now we're staring down the barrel of the $100. Think about that for a second. $100 for a Pokemon game, and don't let anyone tell you, oh, that's just optional. No, when you lock meaningful story content behind a paywall, when you take something that was clearly part of the full version of the game and slice it off, that's not optional, that's extortion. That's saying you want the whole experience, pay us double. And if you know what's even worse, this sets a precedent. Today it's Mega Dimensions, tomorrow it's something bigger. Imagine if they lock new legendary Pokemon behind expansions. Imagine if they cut post-game content and sell it later. Imagine if in the next mainline generation, you can't evolve your starters into the final form without buying an evolution pass. Sounds crazy, right? But 10 years ago, we would have said the same about paying $100 for a Pokemon. And look where we are now. This is why I get so fired up. This is why I make rants like this. Because if we don't draw the line now, if we don't push back, Nintendo will keep taking. They always do. They test the market, they see what you tolerate, and then they push it further. 60 becomes 70, 70 becomes 80, now it's $70 plus DLC is the new normal. And unless we shut it down, $100 will just be the beginning. So make sure you take notes. September 12th was the day Nintendo dropped the mask and showed us all exactly where they're headed. The day they told you flat out that $70 isn't enough anymore, that $100 for a complete Pokemon experience is the standard going forward. And here's the thing, this won't just be Pokemon, this will bleed into every Nintendo franchise. Zelda expansions, Mario expansions, Smash Bros expansion. Why ship a full game when you can ship 3/4 of it and sell the rest later? Why charge 70 when you can charge 100 and the fans will still cheer it? Until we push back, until we refuse to buy in, this is the road we're heading down. And that's not it. That's not the end of the greed, because if that was just Raichu behind a paywall, it'd already be bad enough, but no, Nintendo had to go even further. They're also locking more Mega Evolutions behind yet another paywall. If you want the Megas of the original starters from Pokemon X and Y, the ones fans have been begging for since Kalos, you're going to have to play Ranked Mode, and Ranked Mode isn't free. That means you'll need a Nintendo Online subscription. So now the price just went even higher. It's not just the $70 base game, it's not just the $30 expansion down the road. Now it's the cost of a Nintendo Online piled on top. Suddenly, what started as hype for new Megas has turned into a mountain of expenses. And let me ask you, since when is it okay to price gouge your consumers like this? Since when is it okay to become acceptable to high content we wanted for years? Mega starters for fan favorite Raichu Greninja in his prime, behind not one, not two, but multiple paywalls. Let's rewind when the last Direct happened. I'm not going to lie to you, I actually got excited for Pokemon Legends ZA. Yeah, me, the guy who's made a whole channel out calling Nintendo out for their greedy anti-consumer practices. For a brief moment, I let myself get hyped. Why? Because they actually deliver something fans have been begging for. They reveal new Mega Evolutions, and not just any Megas, the original starters from Pokemon X and Y. You know how long fans have been begging for that? Years, since the Kalos days. People have been saying, where are the rest of the Megas? Why do the starters always get ignored? And then boom, Greninja and the rest of them all with brand new Mega forms. And let me tell you, they looked awesome, absolutely amazing. But the one that hit me the hardest, Greninja. My god, Mega Greninja looks incredible. That design was sharp, sleek, powerful. Everything you want from a Mega Evolution. Greninja has always been one of my favorites, but this made him look like he belonged on the cover of the game itself. And for once, for the first time in a long time, I thought, okay, Nintendo, Game Freak, maybe you're actually listening. Maybe you're finally giving fans what they want. And then it got crazier. Suddenly, I see Raichu, and at first I'm confused. I'm not used to Raichu getting any love. Normally it's Pikachu hogging the spotlight. Pikachu gets the merchandise, Pikachu gets the movies, Pikachu gets the fanfare. Poor Raichu. He's always left in the dust, treated like the unwanted evolution of the mascot. But then plot twist, not one, but two Mega Evolutions for Raichu. Two. And I couldn't believe my eyes, because in the history of Megas, only Charizard and Mewtwo have ever been blessed with two separate forms. This legendary status. That's top tier territory, and now finally Raichu, after decades of neglect, was being lifted into the same spotlight. And I'll admit it, I lost it. I cheered, I was hype. I thought, yes, finally justice for Raichu. Finally the community is getting something we begged for over and over again. And then it hit me, and when it hit me hard. This wasn't part of the base game. This wasn't something you unlock by playing, battling, exploring, or grinding like in the good old days. No, these Mega Evolutions, these long-awaited love letters to fans, they're locked behind paid DLC. Raichu, a symbol of the underdog, a redemption arc decades in the making, locked behind a paywall. How insulting is that? How long can you go? Think about the message this sends. It's not "we value Raichu," it's not "we're finally giving the fans what they deserve." No, it's "we know you wanted this for years, and we're going to charge you extra for it." That's not love, that's not fan service, that's exploitation. That's Nintendo and Game Freak holding your childhood hostage and saying pay up if you want to see it shine. And here's the kicker, it's not just Raichu. If you want those mega starters from X and Y, you have to jump into rank mode, and rank mode means you're forced to pay for online. So now, not only are they cutting content from the base game and selling it back to you as DLC, but they're hiding more content behind a subscription wall. So let's tally it up. $70 for the base game, $30 for the expansion, Nintendo Online fees on top of that. We're not just looking at $100 Pokemon anymore. We're staring down a system with layered paywalls designed to nickel and dime you every step. And I don't care how good Mega Greninja looks. I don't care how Raichu's double megas are. The second they told me this was paid DLC, the second they shoved it into ranked battles behind Nintendo's Online, every ounce of excitement turned into disgust. I can't support this trash. And I'll be honest with you, I don't even think I'm going to rent the base game now. This will be the first Pokemon game I never got at launch. Yeah, you heard me. I use GameFly all the time. I rent all my games because I refuse to pay $70, $80, $90 for Nintendo's overpriced gimmicks. But even renting Pokemon Legends ZA feels wrong. If this is how they're going to treat the fans, because at the end of the day, every person who touches this game, whether you buy it or rent it, becomes another statistic Nintendo will use to brag about success. This isn't success, this is robbery. And I'm begging, truly begging the Pokemon community to push back. We cannot normalize this. We cannot let day one cosmetics, delayed story DLC, locked megas, and subscription gated content behind the standard. If we let Nintendo get away with this, what's next? Starter evolutions locked behind an evolution pass? Legendary Pokemon behind a raid pass? Don't laugh, because 10 years ago, people laughed when someone suggested Pokemon would one day be overpriced, and now here we are. This is the line in the sand. This is the moment where we as fans have to say enough, push back, or give Nintendo permission to carve up every franchise and sell it back to us in pieces. So yeah, I was excited, I was hyped. I thought for a moment that Pokemon Legends ZA might actually give us something special, but now all I see is a scam wearing a Pikachu smile, a scam dressed up in nostalgia and fan service. Nintendo, you crossed the line, and if the community doesn't fight back, this won't just be the future of Pokemon, this will be the future of gaming. And I'll say it again, loud enough for everyone in the back. Locking Raichu and the Kalos Starter Megas behind a paywall isn't love, it's theft. And before I go, remember this, Nintendo, your die-hard fans are not as big of a safety net as you think they are. You act like no matter what you do, no matter how greedy you get, they'll always be there. But history tells us a different story. The Wii U only sold 13.5 million units, that's it. That's your die-hard fan base. That's the numbers of people who stuck with you when everyone else moved on. And yeah, many of those fans stayed with you until the Switch era, and now into the Switch too. But don't fool yourself into thinking that's enough to carry you forever. Keep pulling stunts like this, keep milking your franchises dry, and you will lose again. And here's the key difference this time. You don't have a safety net. When the N64 stumbled, the Game Boy was there to keep you alive. When the GameCube struggled, the Game Boy Advance was selling strong. When the Wii U flopped, the 3DS held you up. But today, right now, you have nothing. No handheld to save you, no second pillar to lean on. It's all on the Switch too, and if you poison it with greed, if you normalize $100 games now, then you're standing on quicksand. So what's the takeaway? Simple. Don't buy it day one. Don't let them set this precedent. Rent it. Borrow it, wait for discounts, wait for the inevitable complete edition when sales slump hopefully. Don't reward this behavior, because if you do, if you hand over $100 for Pokemon Legends ZA plus Mega Dimensions expansion and then the online on top of that, you're telling Nintendo exactly what they want to hear. Yes, please cut up more content. Yes, please charge me more. Yes, please normalize this crap. Nintendo gets greedier every single year, and unless we push back, unless we stop giving them our wallets on day one, it's going to get worse. So here we are. Mark the date for October 17th. Remember it. That's the day that the game finally comes out. $100 games, it will be the new normal. Pokemon Legends ZA will sell millions. It doesn't need a day one expansion. It doesn't need to bleed you for more cash, but Nintendo will do it anyways because they think they can. The only way to stop them is simple. Stop rewarding them. And now it's time to read off the members of the channel. We got Koros Objective, Maximilian Pegasus 88, Mattbox 94, Shade Milkman, Oh No Is Justin, Brian Payne, Andy Ritz, J Wesby 65, C Stars Piplup, Maximus 2400, John Molina, Dustin 360, That PlayStation Gamer, The Gaming Rip, Raymond YouTube 1, Brian Abraham, Stephen Ramey, Vetful Zexel, Wooden's Throne, Matthew Buckley, Byron Morse, King Paco Nintendo Lover, AV Gator 2000. Thank you so much for becoming part of the crew. Well, that's the end of the video. If you truly enjoyed it and want to support the channel, why not consider becoming a member? It's just $1 a month, and you'll get access to exclusive badges and emotes, plus shout out the end of each video. And hey, once the list gets too long, we'll turn it into a full credit roll so everyone still gets their moment to shine. Also, don't forget to check out the exclusive Vigilante merch. Rep the brand, support the channel, and look good doing it. And of course, make sure to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps the channel grow. I'm really trying to get to 2,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and I really need your help. And also, if you want to check me out live, I go live every Monday morning around 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And until next time, guys, stay vigilant.
You can cry in the comments, but you won't survive. Like and subscribe if you feel that vibe. We're